Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel D Creations Resources. We are looking at different concepts from mathematics, especially pertaining to real analysis. Today we will be solving an inequality. Now, if you recall, in earlier episodes, we have already seen what inequality is. So let's see it here. Inequality, as you know, is basically some kind of a comparison. There is relative size involved. So you can use terms like greater than or bigger than, smaller than, etc. There's a comparison. And it can be of different kinds as shown here. Then we have seen that there are properties of inequality, whether it's transitive property or reversal property. Similarly, we can see that there is law of trichotomy. Then we've seen what happens if you add or subtract some numbers. And after that, we've also seen what happens in case of multiplication and division. So we'll be using all this knowledge now to solve the inequalities. For those who are still not very confident about it, you are suggested to watch the previous episode and revise all these properties and then come to this particular episode where you are solving inequality, you are applying the knowledge you already gained. Now, when you are solving an inequality, in certain cases the direction of the inequality is going to change, while in certain cases it will remain unchanged. So let us see both the scenarios. Now, if you have the inequality to which a number is added or subtracted, the sign is going to remain unchanged. Let's see an example. See this inequality. X minus 3 is less than or equal to 5. Now if you add 3 to both the sides, x minus 3 plus 3 will give you just x, while 5 plus 3 will give you 8. And as you see, less than or equal to has remained unchanged. Similarly, if you multiply or divide both the sides by a positive number, now, if you see the inequality, x upon 2 greater than 6. Let us multiply it by a positive number, namely plus 2. So, you can see that we are multiplying it. 2 will cancel out. So, here you will have x and 2 into 6 is 12. So, you have 12. So, again, this sign has remained unchanged. Now, in what situation will the direction be reversed? Let's see it. If you interchange left and right side. Now for example, minus 2x is greater than or equal to 6. So now if you are basically interchanging the sides, the direction is going to change. So minus 2x is becoming 2x, 6 is becoming minus 6, and this sign is going as less than or equal to. So x is less than or equal to minus 3. Because when you divide by 2, that is what you are going to get. Notice that when you divide by 2, it's a positive number, so there is no further change. And the interval can be represented as minus infinity to minus 3. Of course, it is closed at the side of minus 3. Now, I know that this is slightly confusing. So what we can do is we can actually try to put in a number in the answer that we have got. Like we have got this interval as an answer. Let's take a number from this interval, try to substitute it here and see whether it is valid. So in this interval, minus 4 will be part of this interval. So if I put now minus 4 here, minus 2 into minus 4 is going to give me plus 8, which is greater than or equal to 6. So do you see that what we have solved is correct? Now, the other reason why the direction of the inequality can change is multiplication and division of both the sides by a negative number. So you see here minus 3x is less than minus 6. That means if you are dividing it by a negative number, namely minus 3, on the left hand side, minus 3x divided by minus 3 will just give you x, and on the right hand side, minus 6 divided by minus 3 will give you 2. But now since you divided it by a negative number, the sign has reversed and we get it as x greater than 2. Again, let's try to put in a number which is in agreement with this condition x greater than 2 and see whether the inequality is valid. So suppose if I take x is equal to plus 3, a number which is greater than 2, if I substitute it here, it will be minus 3 into 3, which is minus 9, and as you know, minus 9 is less than minus 6, so it is valid. So I understand that it's not very easy to comprehend, but if you practice it, then it will come very naturally to you, and every time when you do it, cross check your answer by actually taking a number from this interval and putting it there in the inequality. Now you have to remember one thing. What if the situation is that you have a variable? So we say Vx is less than 5v and v is a variable. Now notice here that if you are not aware of whether the variable v is positive or negative, then you can't on your own multiply or divide. Because if you are not aware whether it's positive or negative, you won't know whether the direction of the inequality is going to change or remain unchanged. So that is something that you should definitely avoid. Now, once you have understood all these things, let's do a quick check. Let's do a true or false question. So, the inequality minus 7 is less than minus 9. Is it right? Well, we know it's not. We've already seen the number line long back, and on that number line we see that minus 9 lies on the left side of minus 7. Of course, it's smaller. So, answer is of course false. What about the situation when you're talking about 6 upon 9 greater than 17 upon 18? If you just multiply these two by 2, you will get this as 12 upon 18. And of course 12 upon it can't be greater than 17 upon 18. So the answer is false again. Now let us go further and solve some inequalities. So the question is, find x such that minus 1 is less than or equal to 2x minus 5 less than 7. Now here's a double inequality involved, but don't worry, we can solve it simultaneously. What is the easiest thing now? Go by logic. See, this 2x minus 5, you want to go to x. So obviously you need to get rid of this minus 5. How will you get rid of this minus 5? By adding plus 5. So let's add plus 5 to the whole inequality. So minus 1 plus 5, that will give you 4. 2x minus 5 plus 5, 5 minus 5 will cancel out, that will give you 2x. And 7 plus 5 will give you 12. So 4 is less than or equal to 2x less than 12. So far, so good. We've just added a number, and we've seen earlier that when you add a number, the direction is not going to change. Going back. Now again from 2x you want to go to x. So what will you do? You will divide both the sides by 2. So let's divide this whole inequality again by 2. So 4 divided by 2 will give you 2. 2x divided by 2 will give you x. And 12 divided by 2 will give you 6. So 2 is less than or equal to x less than 6. Now this leads us to an interval. Basically 2 is less than or equal to. So you can see it begins with a closed interval where you have 2 as one of the endpoints. And x is less than 6, so this is an open interval on this side. So this is how the interval is going to look. Now you can, if you wish, you can try verifying it. Take a number in this interval, say 3. If I put 3 here, 2 into 3 is 6, 6 minus 5 is 1, minus 1 is less than 1. Similarly, 1 is less than 7. So yes, we have even cross-checked. Now for you to do solve as an exercise, there are further 2 questions given. Answers are also provided, but I would suggest first you solve it and then cross-check your answer. That's why they have written in a flipped fashion. So x plus 1 is greater than 4 or x plus 2 is less than minus 1. Please understand this or is very important because it is leading you to 2 different intervals and then you have to take its union. So try to solve it. What answer did you get? Yes, if the answer that you got is an interval minus infinity to minus 3, union 3 infinity, then it's correct. Similarly, try to solve the next question. X plus 3 is greater than 1, and notice both the situations need, or both the inequalities need to be followed, and x minus 2 is less than 1. So here, due to this and, you don't have to use any union. In fact, the answer is going to become compact, and if you quickly solve it, you will realize this is the answer that is shown here, minus 2, 3. So this is all about solving an inequality, and you can practice solving it by you can refer to a book where there are questions given about solving inequality and quickly solve them, and with practice I am sure it will come very naturally to you. Thank you.